What about you?
At least I'd be a fungus with empathy. Sorry for eavesdropping, but what—
Sort of.
Are you all okay? Huh. So, such is life. Plus, he could have helped me with the housework for once. See those books? They've been sitting—
Can you feel the
Oh, so the pots—
I'm doing quite well. Much better than that.
You don't understand anything. Stop criticizing my—
Paimon can't tell which of them is more—
You whisper very loud.
Oh,
Do you have any more questions?
let Paimon think.
I bear them no ill will. More, to some extent, they were also fooled.
Ilias also said that he wanted to tell us the truth at Gandharva. He apologized to you.
It doesn't matter. I never considered, judging from his experiences, he's more courageous than the average person. I'm going for dinner in 10 minutes.
Paimon doesn't have any more questions. How about— Oh, yeah. You only started investigating, but after meeting Siraj, it didn't seem like you were interested in him or his experiment.
I had no interest in him I now understand the reason. Correct. The fact that Siraj's project attracted so much interest, despite not being approved, speaks to as the acting Grand Sage. In addition, what happened to Ilias is worth our attention.
Paimon understands.
I think minimum viable
Wait, you
Yes. I've already I don't think Siraj knew what he'd do then wouldn't have been any concern of mine.
But what?
I'm not suited to be a sage. If I serve as acting Grand Sage for it's important to keep your priority.
Oh, now that you say that, Paimon's kinda hungry. See ya!
See ya.
The name Siraj doesn't ring a—
He isn't someone who would.
I've always had a hard time appreciating the way that the academia pressures people by labeling them as geniuses. But even so, the academia can't be left to you. Or perhaps I should say that I'm delighted—
And I suppose they'd.
Again, that's mighty—
But my salary will
Wait, what?
At least I don't have to be an architectural designer who works himself to death just to get a smile from.
You— I took time out of my—
Make sure to pay back the rent you owe me. I'm going to buy some furniture with that, Mora.
What? Are you trying to annoy me to death?
You'll have to blame that on my financial freedom.
Fine. Go ahead and hide behind your financial success.
I think I'd have too many choices, to be honest. You, on the other hand, can you think of any redeeming features?
Artistry, force—
So I'll have to bring you along.
Of course.
But why would I do that?
Can't you just be not—
Pretending that you're not in debt is as ridiculous as pretending you're not living in some.
Speaking of which, your friends won't say anything, right?
There's no need to hide it so carefully.
What? No, it can't be.
Well, that dream was incredibly beautiful, but as long as he can still wake— Huh? What makes you say that? Right! You said that you didn't understand human feelings, but your speech just now really connected with everyone. Thank you. I've heard you can't say that that's why I could understand, but all of my I don't think that— You're too hard on yourself, that's for sure. Alright. I've learned that emotions are nothing Benyuni. Oh, the moment I entered the dream, I felt like I was wrapped in a blanket. It was so warm that it felt like But when I opened my eyes, the feeling was gone. If I have to make an analogy for it, I bet now that I've experienced this dream, it's enough that I can— If I dwell too much on its exact nature, I would be putting the cart before the horse. I gave a speech to inspire my people. Hey, what's with that serious look? You keep looking like there's something you want to say. Okay, since we just woke up, let's... A new day...
Time to go.
Hey, Catherine, it's us. Got any new commissions? Specifically one with a huge more attack, perhaps? Paimon's just being enthusiastic. We're all...
It's always a pleasure. Actually, we do
don't worry about that. We were just kidding.
to put it simply. But the troupe has also been experiencing some financial difficulties.
That does sound like a tricky situation. So basically they're looking for a volunteer?
That's right. There are only a few days left.
Got it. Oh, this one's a doozy. What do you think, Trap? Even if we took the commission, neither of us...
If you're interested in helping, why not start by having a chat with the requester? He's right over there. Maybe you can't fill the role yourselves, but you might be able to help him figure out another solution.
Oh, it's that guy, huh? No wonder, he looks like he just ate a sour lemon. Paimon approves! Hello there! Are you the guy looking for a new actress?
Wait, I know you two!
Wow, sounds like we're pretty famous in Fontaine already. But
If we can't find someone to step in, that's the thing. All our sets and props are... If we had a way to make this...
disband?
Oh, I guess the lady at the adventure... One last show. Nobody wants things to just... fizzle out. Not after all the time and effort we've invested into it. Yeah, the show just won't be...
Got it. We have a quick... what if we sponsored the show? Traveler, how...
Please, there's no need to go that far. I wouldn't feel right asking such a huge favor. And I can't promise that we'd ever be able to pay you back.
Good point. If the actress just goes through the motions for the Mora, that's not exactly rescuing the show. We should find someone who will put on the best performance possible. Oh, wait! What a... She's really good at performing, and she was once super popular with the crowd. Performing in a musical should be a piece of cake for her.
Who are you thinking of? Sounds like someone famous. Her! You're... That was a
Nope. Paimon doesn't actually know if she's performed on stage.
You're not wrong there. She is... But even if she's she's still an idol to many people in Fontaine, including myself. Well, yeah... Fair enough. I'm sure everyone in our troupe has probably dreamt of performing on stage with her one day. Of course.
No point in stressing. Besides, things are different now.
Thank you for your help.
Wait, where does Farina actually live?
As it happens, I have her current address here. I can provide it to you.
Woo! Where did you get...
I came over when things were starting to sound more promising. I thought I should be at the... It is my duty to support...
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Now that we've got the address, we'll go find Farina.
Exactly. But none of them believed me. Exactly. But none of
With the flames to guide us across time, we took a land shrouded in darkness and used our own blood and tears to forge it into a home. Now our journey continues, and a new chapter awaits. As the current Pyro Archon, allow me, Mawika, to light your way forward.
There are leaves around. The tune will accompany them, if you wish to hear it.
Ready to ride. Light it up.
For tailoring services, please make a reservation in advance.
Instead of confining themselves to the heavens, God should broaden their horizons in the world below.
actually give us the right address? She lives here? Not that there's anything wrong with it.
You know, it's common courtesy to make sure the homeowner is...
Okay, when did Pop...
I was just out on... I used to have a Not at all. As long as you have different kinds of sauces in, you can have macaroni and tomatoes.
Oh, sounds like you're really struggling to cope.
How rude. It's not like I have a very eventful life these days. Actually, I barely leave the house. So I don't see how it's unusual that my... Besides, I'm sure I could master dishes like la lettre faucilor or blubber profiteroles in no time, if I felt so inclined.
Ah, there it is. You don't know how to cook.
Not yet, maybe, but... Anyway, what are you even doing here? I do hope you didn't come... Let me first be clear that I'm not taking guests at this time. So if you're just here to clown around, then please be on your way. Shoo!
Sorry! We're sorry! Yeah, exactly! What the Traveler said! Hang on a sec, you weren't exactly holding back either.
My help?
Don't worry, it's nothing that serious.
Oh? Well, so tell me. Ah, I see. I knew you couldn't have come all this way just to amuse yourselves at my expense. After all, I was once the... But...
How come? It's
True, but I have made a decision to retire from the stage. Although I am no longer required to Century, of course, that can't be undone now. But at least I can say that I no longer desire to play.
Paimon can but this is just a one-off...
However, it's a if I make an exception to the rule now, I'm just leaving a back door for myself. Which would be the same as not having a so I'm not going to perform.
Okay, guess there's no convincing you. Well, is there anything else? Do you know any other actors who might be interested in the role?
Nope.
Short and to the point, okay.
I've never... Since I'm just an ordinary... True, but... I mean, could you even blame them? I show up out of the blue, begging and groveling for their help with a show they won't even get paid for? Ooh, no way. I'm dying from embarrassment just thinking about it. Nope, not happening.
Well,
Have
it's all right, Farina. Paimon... Yeah, I guess that's all we can do now.
toodaloo to you.
It's too bad, but we have to respect Farina's decision. Maybe the thought of performing brings up too many painful memories now. Are they arguing?
That's besides the point. I'll ask you again. Why did you start looking for a replacement without my consent? When did I tell you I'm going to take a step back?
You didn't need to say it. We've known each other for how long now?
And that gives you the right to make a decision on my behalf?
Shortly after. Excuse me, but.
Sorry. I was just dealing with a little misunderstanding.
Sadly, it's a no from her.
I see. You see, our.
Oh, right! Sounds like everything worked itself out. Yeah, she'd be livid. We'd get the.
Jeez, is Lady Farina really so harsh with people?
Only joking, come. Despite the fact that we failed to complete the.
Look, this is the last chance we have, though. If your illness flares up again, there won't be time to find anyone to replace you. So.
Yes, I'm completely confident. I've been taking a new medication from the doctor, and it's working brilliantly. I'll definitely be able to tough it out until the performance day. I share everyone's desire to commemorate all our years as a troupe with a proper farewell show. So, the last thing I want is to be left out. Every one of us thinks of this troupe as their home, myself included.
You're right.
All's well that ends well. Sounds like the show will go on. Sure.
Hey, how did you... I was just passing by because I realized I forgot... All right, I'm... Hello?
Farina?
When you came to talk with me earlier, and all before I even... I'm sorry, Paimon.
Oh, it's totally fine.
I felt very sheepish, but in any case...
Yeah.
There's no... I was wondering, if this troupe is so important to all of you, why does it have to disband? If the difficulties are pure, everyone seems so devoted to the troupe. I'm sure if you...
Everything's been going...
Her name was O'Reilly, and she was the founder as well as the artistic director of our troupe. And tragically, she was a victim in the serial disappearances case.
What?
That's actually how I...
She was a loyal fan. She rallied many people, loved our...
And then...
Yeah. None of us know anything. It's agonizing.
Oh.
I suppose it's fair to...
Yes, exactly.
Well, good thing I followed the Traveler here. After hearing this tragic tale...
Farina?
what you're thinking. I can, however, provide some artistic guidance from the vantage point of a highly experienced audience member. But only if you feel this is something that would help, of course.
Oh,
We unfortunately don't have any budget.
I don't need something I've begun. The law only... What about all the unresolved emotions? An interesting answer. But if you ask me, I think all emotion shall ultimately return home to the heart and slowly settle with the passage of time. Take part.
You just want to get back.
No. Would you be willing to join me?
Thank you all so much. Our director was a... All right, follow me. We'll go to our usual practice space.
burn it down! Full throttle!
Huh? Lady Farina?
What's Lady Farina doing here?
Hello all. Allow me to explain. These two over here are the ones that made it possible. They kindly reached out to Miss Farina on our behalf. I'm sure they need no introduction. You bet! That was the trial of the century!
You helped bring our director's murder?
Oh, please don't mention it. We're just here to join in on the fun.
So, you were saying the Little Oceanid?
Yeah, that's the name of our final show. It's an unfinished script left behind by our director. One of our greatest regrets is that she never got to complete it. So, if we can bring it to the stage and make it a successful show, we can all take some solace in that.
Wait, but if it's not finished, then...
Yeah, we've been battling issues on every front, trying to realize this dream. Anyway, let me give you a quick summary of what the story's all about. The protagonist of the story is a young Oceanid who transforms herself into human form, despite the protests of her family. She longed to live just like... But one day, her
So far, so...
That's one of the issues we've been trying to deal with. Unfortunately, this was as far as the director got with her script. We need a proper ending so we can bring this musical to the stage. But...
We still haven't decided between a happy ending or a true-to-life tragedy.
By true to light.
Yeah, like they... But then there's the question of whether we really want to use...
Exactly. A lot of the time, people come to watch a show just hoping for some luck. And one last thing. The first is Paulo. The other is Villemont, who plays the main antagonist. He did write to us, promising that he'll be there for the final performance, but we haven't seen or heard from him since. So we're not really sure what to make of that.
Huh. Although, now that we have...
What opportunity?
Maybe you're unaware, but...
Our director was constantly singing your praises. All of us look up to you as a role model.
I suspect, but one by one.
Makes sense. He went back to Poisson.
I thought the last thing is...
Yeah, maybe he could...
Poisson. Nothing. I suppose my present. So, allons-y. Tout passant!
If I remember correctly, this is where he's staying.
Who is it?
It's me.
You came all the way here.
Alright. Forget that for now.
Nice try.
Okay then.
So, as expected, he's...
The ending is one of the most even once he's done.
Someone told me they'd just seen you in Poisson. I assumed it was a case of mistaken identity, but sure enough, here you are. And Furina, too. So, you're here for Paolo?
Oh, it's okay. We can just wait here.
Thank you for being so considerate, Miss Navia. That sounds wonderful. We'll take that stroll. Get over here, you! How oblivious are you?
How are things in Poisson now? Any better?
Things are on the mend. Please. We all have painful memories. But we don't have to let them... And if you're trying to make a...
Thank you for your words of comfort. But for now, at least, I think I should stay with the way I'm feeling for a while longer.
It's okay. These things take time. Moving on from a painful experience is easier said than done. Which brings me to why I'm here. I thought you should probably know that not everyone here is ready to forgive and forget after the Hydro Archon's inaction in the face of catastrophe. To avoid upsetting the peace, I told the townspeople that everyone here is a member of the theater troupe, and that you are just an actress, playing the role of Furina. It's not a perfect solution, but hopefully it means you won't have to lie low while—
That's so thoughtful of you, Navia.
Well, what do you— Anyway, that was all. Look after her now.
Off we go then. Let's take a look up there. I don't have any friends. I'm so grateful that Miss Navia was so understanding. To be perfect, it's always easiest to just run away from your problems. But that never fixes anything.
So that's why you were nervous when they—
Yeah. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared of coming back. Still, I felt it was something I had to do. As I was saying before, I want to see for myself the things that I never could in the past. I'd be overjoyed if the people here could find it in the— Yeah, I can tell people are watching me. I'm sure some people here see the idea of someone coming to Poisson dressed as the Hydro Archon as extremely disrespectful. I used to be terrified of the gaze of other people, especially when they had suspicion or resentment in their eyes. I guess I wasn't quite ready for this after all.
I'm not surprised you're making yourself go through all of this.
I can't let my—
Look! There seems to be a crowd gathering over there.
probably time we made a move. How about we check out Spina di Rasula's ship? We should have a view of the whole of Poisson from there. I'm sorry. You probably just wanted a relaxing stroll, and here I am dumping all this heavy stuff on you.
We don't mind. It's actually refreshing to see a difference.
Great. Well, I don't know whether you can tell, but the years of suffering and loneliness aren't the only reason I have a hard time facing up to who I used to be. As I stand here by the ship, I can't get the images of the rising water out of my mind. One after another, people were taken by the water. All those treasured lives and memories washed out of existence in an instant. They thought their God would protect them. They had absolute faith that when disaster struck, a divine power would save them from harm. And all the while, I played my part to perfection to convince them that was true. But then the floodwaters finally came, and the Hydro Archon did nothing.
You shouldn't look at it like that. You're only doing your duty.
I've had to go through so many moments like that for the sake of protecting the truth. As time went on, it got harder and harder to bear, and I became more lonely and isolated. Eventually, I realized I had nothing left except the truth. I became terrified of completely failing in my task, and was haunted by the thought of being left all alone, weeping on my throne. Fortunately, we were able to avoid the worst-case scenario thanks to the help of heroic individuals such as yourselves. Everyone rose to their responsibilities, and I finally regained my freedom. But on some level, freedom also means no longer being needed. I have no further use to people.
Paimon would have never imagined you'd see it that way.
Reward? I guess so. Back then, I didn't even dare to dream about having someone to confide in. I was scared of someone recognizing me for who I truly was, and exposing the secret I swore to protect. Believe in the Furina you see on stage. She is the one you can trust. I had to keep all my feelings, all my curiosity about life to myself. No one could be allowed. That's what...
So that's where you were coming from.
Could you please get off my case? I don't know what's gotten into you today. I'm making an effort here. You could at least try to do the same. I do. I once had nothing but the truth, and now I'm finally free to live my own life again. And even though I have no idea where I'm going right now, at least the choice is in my hands. All right, it's about time to head back. Paulo should have finished the ending by now.
Okay, let's head back and check it out.
Here's how I allocate my energy on a job. 70% goes to investigating, 10% to making a final decision, and the remainder for execution.
Didn't you say you needed to watch what you eat? You're supposed to be cutting down on fried foods, not wolfing down copious quantities of fish and chips, you know?
Come on. It's not every day we get to dine at Spina di Rosula's expense. Can you believe how generous she is? I'm not about to pass on free food. Anyway, my character doesn't need to be slim and good-looking. That's your job.
Are you kidding me right now? It's not your character's health I'm worried about, it's yours. I've spent my whole life battling the effects of ill health, and it kills me to watch you willingly ruin yours by filling yourself up with junk all the time.
Oh no, looks like they're arguing again.
you're back. We've been enjoying Spina di Rosula's VIP treatment in your stead. Paulo's nearly done. We shouldn't have to wait too much longer.
Great! So you were discussing your characters, right? We heard she's playing the Oceanid who turns into a human girl. What about you?
Me? I'm an Oceanid too.
He was originally supposed to take the form of a crane, but he outgrew that role. Well, the costume at least. So now he's playing the boar instead.
Sorry.
The boar's not a bad character, actually. He's the one who raises the little Oceanid, yes?
That's right. He has some pretty memorable lines too, like when he imparts some solemn words of wisdom to the little Oceanid. If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want?
Wait, that sounds kind of familiar.
It's the most important line in the whole script. I think it's a symbolic statement about our director's life and legacy. She kept quiet about all the trials and tribulations she faced in running our troupe, allowing us to devote ourselves fully to performing. It was only after she was gone that we realized how tough her job really was.
You mentioned earlier that the troupe is like your home.
Yeah. I was born with an incurable illness, and once my family found out it couldn't be treated, they decided they didn't want me anymore. I spent some years taking whatever work I could find and trying to manage my illness with various medicines. But whenever I had a bad flare-up, I'd be lying in an alleyway for days at a time. It was like that until the director found me one day. She told me I had a great voice and asked if I was interested in studying singing from her. I said yes. She took me under her wing, taught me to both sing and act, helped me find Mora for my meds, took care of me when my condition decided to flare up. I know it was all a huge burden on her.
She sounds like a really incredible person.
She really was. She gave everything she had to her troupe and the people in it. All of us were so proud to call her our director. I was a lost child too when she found me. As the child of a murderer, my parents weren't around when I was little, so I got sent to an orphanage. The other kids were always picking fights with me. They'd say things like, "Come on, you must be pretty tough if you're the son of a murderer." It was just to taunt me, though. I was an easy target, and they knew it. One day, I got beaten up so bad that I just couldn't take it anymore, so I ran away. I lost all faith in humanity by that point. Thought the whole world was out to get me.
Let me guess. Fortunately, the next person you ran into was the director.
Yeah. For the first time in my life, I was somewhere I felt safe. And I promised myself I'd stay here until the day the group parted ways.
The day you hoped would never come. How times change.
Oh, you're finally done? Get your butt over here. There's someone I need to introduce you to. This is our new artistic consultant, Miss Furina.
Furina? The Furina? Oh my god, how did you manage to wrangle that?
Please, the honor is all mine. I was profoundly moved to hear about your troupe and your wonderful director. I just wanted to do something to help.
Same here!
Even so, this is just... Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I'll try to calm down. Now, where was I? Ah, yes, the script, of course. Let me give you a rundown of how the story unfolds in my version of the script. I'm sure you're already familiar with the beginning of the story. A little Oceanid decides she wants to become a human, against the wishes of her family. She finds love, the people start to notice the little Oceanid. In the end...
Consciousness?
Water...
Since the little Oceanid, her lover accepts the little Oceanid is...
And then?
In the end...
Huh?
Well, she mainly.
Through her love for her human.
There's actually something else. You know the protagonist. If we're serious about... What about...
That sounds like too...
That ending would be on the day when she went missing. We waited and we looked for her.
The director was...
I've been trying to follow up.
Vilma?
Yeah.
Grief? Guilt, because...
What?
It's time to be upfront with you all. I did tell... She said that we were all like... Not that it came... I said, maybe one... Well, maybe... And now... So if I'm the one...
We've all had our differences of...
Well, if that's what...
Are you ready to...
Honestly, I'm... Funny you should ask, though.
I certainly do. Come on, everyone.
Let's ride! Rise with the sun! Try and stop me! Light it up! Rev the engines! Exploration and trials? Adventuring is right up my alley. Instead of confining themselves to the heavens, God should broaden their horizons in the world below. Exploration and trials? Adventuring is right up my alley. Many insects have a compulsion to follow the light, and humans are the same. Except we call that light hope. Exploration and trials? Adventuring is right up my alley.
you say you needed to watch what you eat? You're supposed to be cutting down on fried foods, not wolfing down copious quantities of fish and chips, you know?
Come on. It's not every day we get to dine at Spina di Rosula's expense. Can you believe how generous she is? I'm not about to pass on free food. Anyway, my character doesn't need to be slim and good-looking. That's your job.
Are you kidding me right now? It's not your character's health I'm worried about, it's yours. I've spent my whole life battling the effects of ill health, and it kills me to watch you willingly ruin yours by filling yourself up with junk all the time.
Oh no, looks like they're arguing again. We're back! Could you maybe put your differences aside for a moment?
Ah, you're back. We've been enjoying Spina di Rosula's VIP treatment in your stead. Paulo's nearly done. We shouldn't have to wait too much longer.
Great! So you were discussing your characters, right? We heard she's playing the OC.
Me?
He was originally supposed to take the form of a crane, but he outgrew that role. Well, the costume at least. So now he's playing the boar instead.
Sorry.
The boar's not a bad character, actually. He's the one who raises the little Oceanid, yes?
That's right. He has some pretty memorable lines, too. Like when he imparts some solemn words of wisdom to the little Oceanid. If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want?
Wait, that sounds kind of familiar.
It's the most important line in the whole script. I think it's a symbolic statement about our director's life and legacy. She kept quiet about all the trials and tribulations she faced in running our troupe, allowing us to devote ourselves fully to performing. It was only after she was gone that we realized how tough her job really was.
You mentioned earlier that the troupe is like your home.
Yeah. I was born with an incurable illness, and once my family found out it couldn't be treated, they decided they didn't want me anymore. I spent some years taking whatever work I could find and trying to manage my illness with various medicines. But whenever I had a bad flare-up, I'd be lying in an alleyway for days at a time. It was like that until the director found me one day. She told me I had a great voice and asked if I was interested in studying singing from her. I said yes. She took me under her wing, taught me to both sing and act, helped me find Mora for my meds, took care of me when my condition decided to flare up.
She sounds like a really...
She really was. I was a lost child too when she found me. As the child of a murderer, my parents weren't around when I was little, so the other kids were always... One day, I got beaten up so bad. Yeah.
The day you hoped would never come. How times change.
Oh, you're finally done? Get your butt over here.
Furina? The Furina? Oh my god.
Please, the honor is...
Same here!
Even so, this is just... Oh, wow. I'm sorry. Yes, the script, of course. Let me give you a rundown of how the story unfolds in my version of the script. I'm sure you're already familiar with the beginning of the story. She finds love and the people start to notice that the little Oceanid, Cleo, in the end, they discover that all the waste and pollution created by humans over the years has caused the freshwater to flee the land, as if driven by a consciousness of its own.
Consciousness? You mean the water is sentient?
Water as a conscious entity. There's actually quite a few stories that explore this theme.
Since the little Oceanid is a water spirit, she immediately understands how the water is feeling. She then tells her lover about her true identity, as well as the truth behind the crisis. Her lover accepts her for who she is, and works with her to find a way to bring the water back. However, unbeknownst to them, there were some people eavesdropping when she revealed her secret. The little Oceanid is accused of being directly responsible for driving the water away, and faces the greatest dilemma of her life.
And then?
In the end, she makes the brave decision to sacrifice herself to save her lover and the rest of humanity.
Huh? But didn't they all treat Cleo like a villain? Why would she want to save them after that?
Well, she mainly wanted to save her lover, plus everyone who'd stood up for her.
Through her love for her human partner, she was able to find an even greater love. One that extended to...
There's actually something else that bothered. You know the protagonist. If we're serious
That sounds like too cruel of an ending to me.
That ending would be a perfect... On the day when she went missing, we waited and waited at the rendezvous point. But we looked for her. The Gardaman...
The director was the kindest soul...
I've been trying to find...
Villemont?
Yeah.
Grief? Because... Well, speaking of the play being true to life, I was deeply, madly...
What? You...
It's time to be upfront with you all. No more keeping secrets from each other. We'll never be able to agree on the ending if we can't be honest about how we feel. I did tell her how I felt once, but she turned me down pretty much straight away. She said that we were all like brothers and sisters to her, and she'd never considered... Not that it came as a shock or anything. It was what I was expecting to hear. So I told her I'd always be there for the troupe, and I'd always be there for her. I said, maybe one day in the future, when everyone's settled into their own lives and on the up and up, and managing the troupe no longer required her constant attention, well, maybe then she could reconsider what she really wanted in her life. And now, that day will never come. So if I'm the one writing this ending, then I'm gonna make sure it does right by O'Reilly. I won't let anyone get in the way of that.
In that case, we've all had our differences of opinion over the ending, but those two have never seen eye to eye on anything. One of them has to compromise if we're ever going to reach a final decision.
Well, if that's where we're at, looks like it's time to go visit Villemont.
Are you ready to face the truth?
Honestly, I'm slightly terrified. But for the sake of our final performance, I'll do whatever it takes. Funny you should ask, though. You really do get what I'm going through right now.
I certainly do. Come on, everyone. Allons-y!
Time to... Time to go.
This is tough going. Delphi, are you sure you can manage in your condition?
I could ask you the same question. Try to keep up.
As if this journey wasn't...
Don't worry. We should all be fine with the Traveler here. sorry.
We're just curious.
Yeah, but don't you remember why? The Hydro Archon willingly gave up all—
Precisely. As much as it pains me, unfortunately, I should just stay put. I'm more like a,
That sounded so smug. Ugh, second-hand
C'est la vie, indeed. Alas, I am forced to watch on—
Aww, too bad.
Sorry to leave all—
Don't worry, peace.
Looking for a fight? No, I'm mad.
This may turn a little.
The wind knows it. Clouds high. The birds come.
Stand with me.
The Temple of Wisdom.
One with nature.
Out of my way.
The wind knows it.
Bravo! Good show! You certainly live up to your reputation.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, the path is cleared now, so onwards and upwards.
Wind strike.
Vilma, are you there?
Huh? Oh, it's you guys. Wait, what's Lady Farina doing here?
I can explain. We've been rounding up the whole troop. We now have everyone except you.
So, you think knowing the truth about the director's disappearance will help you write an ending to the script that pleases everyone? I care just as much as everyone else about making the— If I open this can of worms now—
Viamal, avoiding the unless you mean to suggest—
I don't want to talk about it.
Listen, Viamal. I used to think that my love for Aurelie was a point of shame. I never brought it up to anyone. But now, the little Ocean—
This is why people think of you as not being the smart one. As you all know already, the troupe was kept afloat not from ticket sales, but donations from the audience. Of course, that was nowhere near enough. We took on side— So, anyway, one day after, it seemed like a win-win. The drink in question was synth.
Isn't that the drink?
I freaked out, but she didn't reprimand. The merchant was— I was going to sort it on my own, but the director stopped. But I admit this whole thing was my mistake. I didn't dare to tell any of you the truth back then, and I got—
Hey, don't say—
You What do you mean? You were afraid? This was a life in— How could you—
Please, try not to get too—
Yeah, listen to him.
Stay calm. And he has the gall to try and high-road us, claiming that he kept his mouth shut for the sake of the show. How about taking some responsibility for what he's done?
All I can say is I'm sorry. Truly. I wanted to apologize to everyone in the troupe, but I'm just a coward who made an awful, terrible mistake that I can never take back. Beat me up if you want. Kill me if you prefer. It's what I deserve. End my life. So I can meet the director and apologize to her in person.
Get out of my sight.
That's enough! Can you stop conflating the show on stage? You keep saying that you want to use this final performance to pay—
I'm sorry.
On stage, the lead role is the focal point of the but in her own life, her greatest desire wasn't to be the center of attention. What she wanted was to build a warm home for all of her brothers and sisters, to shield you all from the storms that rage in the world outside. That's how you should remember her. and that's what you should be. I understand why you're trying to make her the hero.
Yeah.
So think hard about what that means. If you really hate each other and can't reconcile your differences, then you could just call it, but you can't bring... What are you laughing at?
Sorry, I didn't mean it that. If she'd seen
Really? But she sounded like such a gentle
Of course she was.
I'm truly...
It's all right.
So, the ending.
Clearly, everyone needs to take a step back for now and reflect on what really matters. When emotions are running high, things get lost. The end of the story needs to focus.
What do you mean?
The traveler is right. If you could find...
You really think that's...
I trust that nobody would object to the ending of the story being based on Aureli's true feelings.
No.
Well, we'll leave this in your capable hands.
Come, let's pay a visit to...
Time to go. Into the wind. As one with wind and cloud.
Commit to memory.
Time to go. Who says there aren't benefits to a life of wandering?
You want to review some recovered items connected to victims of the serial disappearances case? But, that case has been closed. Still, since you were the ones who discovered and some...
So, this...
Hey! It's full of script lines! And sketches, too! Looks like...
Let me take a look. Maybe the... That looks like she kept a detailed record of her captor's actions. She even mentions the truth behind the experiments on dissolving young women. If we'd had the chance to examine this notebook carefully back then, it would have been a conclusive piece of evidence proving Vachey's guilt.
Vachey took so many...
I guess Aurelie... wait. Her handwriting... Her final words are... I'll let you read them.
She was so terrified.
She may have been a mighty hero in the eyes. I can't bear to think how painful and lonely her final days must have been. Wait. If you become human, you...
Isn't that the most important line in the little...
Because I am an old...
Oh!
So she didn't regret her decision. Even as she sat in silence, waiting for death to come. I'm sure this is what the troupe would have hoped to hear as well. She had their utmost trust, admiration, and love. Let's go.
She deserves a hero's...
Even in the last moments.
She did her best to protect as many. We know what choice her little.
I will channel all my... I won't ask for your forgiveness, and you don't...
Then it seems...
Really? How can you be so sure when you...
Don't underestimate my experience. If you want to move the audience with your music, you must fully commit and immerse. And aren't human emotions love, hate? I don't believe anybody could be more committed to bringing this story to life on the stage than they are now.
Thank you for the vote of confidence, Miss Farina.
Then, let's not delay things any longer.
Actually, before that, I'd like to make during the curtain call, please allow...
Huh? But then...
After all, this role was originally meant to be played. Besides, a role commemorating her life should be associated with her name.
Well, if you're sure you're okay with that, I have no objection to it.
Now we're talking like a serious acting troupe. All right, I'll leave you to fine-tune your musical while I go...
Procure a stage?
Oh, it's okay. Our usual place doesn't need a reservation.
That place? Oh, don't be silly. For an extraordinary show, we need an...
Whoa, wait, what?
No. That's never going to work. It's far too fancy for the likes of us.
What are you afraid of? Surely you don't think that Aurelie's story is unworthy of the grandest stage in Fontaine?
No, though that's...
It is supposed to be your grand finale, right?
I'll take your silence as a yes. Thank you for giving us this opportunity.
Well, then don't disappoint me. If you mess this up, it'll reflect poorly on me too. Come on. We'll need to get the go-ahead from Neuvillette. I know just where to find him. Look at that! Looks like I guessed right.
You were just guessing?
I knew you'd be here.
I'm here merely for a short break. It has been a while, Miss Farina. And you too, traveler in Paimon. What might I assist you with today?
I would like to book the Opera Epiclese for an event. You see...
I understand. The process for booking the Opera Epiclese is complex and can be somewhat cumbersome. But given that the request is coming from the three of you, I see no reason to make things unduly difficult. The story of the little Oceanid is most fascinating. I'm looking forward to seeing it performed on stage. I will say, however, that I am surprised to see your passion for the performing arts rekindled after all that has happened. Yes?
At first, in the past, we sat in our high chairs in the court, giving our opinions on isolated cases, all while knowing very little about the human stories behind each and every one. Maybe it's because I finally become an ordinary person and gained my freedom, but I've developed a great sense of curiosity about their lives.
I am truly delighted to see you find a new lease on life. Now that you've regained some confidence, have you had any thoughts regarding a return to the stage?
Why would you suddenly ask a question like that?
Well, if The Little Oceanid turns out to be a great success, it will no doubt become a classic. Many theater companies are certain to add it to their repertoire. The experiences and decisions of the protagonist Cleo are all modeled after your own. Naturally, this makes you eminently suited to playing. It would truly be—
Haven't I already? Nor do I think it is any great shame. This experience is a case in point. I feel like I must admit, though, I'm a little envious.
I see. I sincerely hope this—
Thanks, Nervalette.
You are very—
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Good news, everyone. It's done. Thanks to my eloquent and impassioned speech, Monsieur Nervalette, we've had to fight every step of a touching story. Now, let's work.
The sooner we can— Fiamma and I just went over some parts of the script and tweaked—
Wow, you two had a constructive—
Communication is vital to any good
Look at us.
It's amazing. Even the—
Please feel free to give us any
Hey, Loic!
Cursed Cleo. She stole the waters of life from us. She's a fraud, and she must pay for her crimes.
This has nothing to do with her. The ignorance and hatred of our people is to blame. How can we hope to win back the water's favor if we don't change our ways?
This guy could be useful. Take him hostage. If Cleo wants him back, she'll have to show herself.
Leave this place, oh little Oceanid, and never, ever look back!
Everyone's really throwing themselves into their...
What should we do? It's almost time for her to take the stage!
Why?
Hey, what's going on? You're Oh no, not again.
They've been
What? I thought they—
I figured whatever it took to get me through this—
How could you do this to yourself? And after that lecture you gave me about not looking after my health.
I'm sorry. I've let everyone down.
You... This is a conversation for another time. How can the show go on without its star performer?
Miss Farina, I'd like to make a request of you.
Say no more. If you're sick, you need to rest. I know what you're going to ask. Loic, your character has no more scenes, correct?
Oh, yeah. I think my scenes are all done. Although, I do have one more line.
Please take Delphi back to her place to rest. From the sublime to the ridiculous.
Thank you, Miss Farina.
Never mind. What's done is done. No one likes regrets. Leave it to me. I've watched you rehearse so many times that I've learned Cleo's part by heart.
I do not doubt your acting skills, but please allow me to ask just one more question. What, in your opinion...
It's her pure heart, despite all...
Well said. I leave
Is she here yet?
Will she get here?
She's not coming!
You're wrong. She's here.
Si je pouvais vivre dans l'eau, le monde serait-il plus beau? Me pardonneras-tu, ô chère mère? L'eau dans son courant fait danser nos vies, et la cité elle nourrit, ainsi que toi, mon doux amour.
But what about your wish?
My... wish...
If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want?
Le grand amour ne suffit pas, seul un adieu fleurira. C'est notre histoire de vie, douce et amère. Moi, je serai toujours là, à voir le monde et sa beauté, et ça ne changera jamais, jamais.
Is it just me? Or was that Lady Farina on the stage just now?
She hasn't been seen for a while now. And she just appears out of nowhere. Gotta say, though, her acting skills are as superb as ever.
The little Oceanid, Cleo, played by Aurélie Fumont.
Wait, that's not...
I don't know. Maybe it's just a dub.
I've spent a lot of time out of the spotlight, and they didn't use my name during the curtain call either. Hopefully, not too many people recognized me. It's too bad that I had to break the one clear rule I'd managed. Still, it felt good.
Finally, we would like to give a special thanks to our artistic consultant and event coordinator, Miss Farina.
Hey, that's not what we agreed on.
Oh, so it was... She's back.
Honestly, Seriously, what is he doing? He should have run that by me first.
All right, calm. After all, it's been the rule in Fontaine since ancient times that everyone's work, visible or invisible, is equal.
Yes, I know the rule, but...
It's no big deal. What's the worst that could happen?
Oh, yeah? Well, since you think...
This is a great chat, and Paimon flew over to where she...
Oh, I've got no idea what happened. I'll bet the audience has never seen such a realistic prop.
Wait, what about Dolphy? I want...
let's go check...
Yes. Plus, she'll definitely want to hear how the end of the show went. If nothing else, we can say...
Yeah.
Ah, you're back. She's doing okay. Her condition stabilized after taking some of her original medication. From experience, though, I'd say she still needs a few more days of rest.
How did the performance go? Was it a success? Did the audience like it?
You'll be glad to know it was fantastic! Also, you're not gonna believe what happened while Furina was on the stage. You'll probably be able to read all about it in the Steambird first thing tomorrow morning.
That's wonderful. I'm so sorry I failed to see it through to the end. I guess I was wrong to try and tough it out to begin with.
Don't worry about it. Like they told me after announcing my name during the curtain call, everyone's work deserves recognition. Even though you couldn't see it through to the final scene, the audience was very impressed by...
I've had bad luck.
Blaming your bad luck?
Oh, don't you start.
Aw, you two clearly care a lot about...
I don't know what you're talking about.
You mean we never stop arguing?
So, any plans for the next step? After the brilliant performance you put on, you could
No, we should still disband.
Yeah.
After all that's happened, I should give you guys some space.
Hey, don't just walk off!
I still want to keep performing, so I might join another troupe. After watching Miss Furina's performance, I think I'm starting to understand her.
Oh, what about you, Miss Furina?
Well, frankly, you rather sealed my fate there with your special thanks at the end of the...
Sorry.
It's quite all right. No need to apologize. What I meant to say is that... this, maybe... I still don't wish to pretend to be someone else. Yeah. But from now, I want to watch them blossom. I'm sure that...
Sounds like you're ready. The more you get out into the world, the more you'll discover what a fascinating place it is.
If a vision is a gift from the gods, then I should...
Paimon has so many questions about his true...
There are leaves around, and I know just the tune to accompany them.
Wait, did I hear that right?
That's right.
No, but why?
Neuvillette! Sidine! Hey there! What are you two talking about?
Traveler and Paimon, please help me talk. No, this is completely unprecedented.
Thank you for your concern, but I currently have no such plans. Oh, apologies,
So, what is it exactly? A ship?
A Melusine named Kiara received a threat.
And then?
That is all the information I have.
Huh?
I have no idea why you're so hung up over this. I've checked the schedule in advance, and it seems like there aren't any trials.
Thank you for understanding.
Then I shall return to...
Judging from Sidine's reaction, it must be pretty rare for you to investigate stuff personally. What's so special?
I cannot tell you. There could be complicated conflicts of...
Come on!
It is not my intent. Long story short, there were few people I could trust. But I had two subordinates who were exceptionally trustworthy and capable. Carol, a Melusine, and Vautrin, leader of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol.
They must have been amazing people to receive such high praise from you.
Indeed. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to protect them. The reforms damaged the interests of some, and the more conservative faction took advantage of Carol's identity to instigate political unrest. Ultimately, they wanted me to yield more of my power. The incident resulted in Carol taking her own life, and Vautrin being exiled. From then on, I've been especially careful when dealing with cases related to Melusines. All Melusines used to live as... I granted their wishes when some of them, including Carol, asked me to bring them to the court of Fontaine. Many common folk believe that I share a special bond with... Some of them, especially those who hold a grudge against me, exploit that belief and stir up conflict over Melusines in an attempt to lay the blame on me. I have nothing against the opinions of others, but the moment a whirlpool of it has already happened.
Even so, there's the guards, the Maréchaussée Phantom, and the special...
Based on prior experience, there is a high chance that those who hold the political system of Fontaine is relatively complex and involves the interests of multiple different factions. However, since I am technically an outsider in Fontaine, a lot of trouble could be avoided if I personally took on the case.
Outside? But aren't you the Chief Justice of Fontaine? Why would you be an outsider?
I understand where you are coming from, but there is not necessarily a connection between my responsibilities and how I perceive myself. You know very well about my true identity, and have even met others of my kind in other nations. Even though I was born with a human form, there is a fundamental difference between dragons and humans. Taking on the role of Chief Justice does not make me a part of this community. In fact, the status I was granted has prevented me from forming deeper bonds with others. I have lived in Fontaine for a long time, but I do not belong here. That is why I call myself an outsider. A fish out of water.
Yeah, we have nothing to do with all those organizations anyway. So how about we come with you on your investigation? Let's team up and round up all...
That does not sound like a...
Oh, Paimon's starting to get a little embarrassed. Just leave it to us.
Let us go.
like he doesn't truly belong here in Fontaine, but is that really true? Paimon feels like he has a kinda skewed... Paimon's been thinking. You called yourself a fish out of water, right? But since you're the Hydro Dragon, would a dragon out of water suit you better?
Thank you for your suggestion. I will consider using the more accurate term in private occasions. Please allow me to
Ugh. That sounds kind of weird. Let's stick with the previous version instead.
I have to keep an eye on the deployment of guards at all times.
I never thought I'd see him here.
The weather's amazing.
Kiara,
Huh? Monsieur Neuvillette! And you are? Oh, I remember. You're the trap...
Aw, she's adorable! Hey there, it's nice to meet you.
Thanks for the compliment. Is there anything I can do for you?
I heard from Sidine that you received a threatening letter.
A threatening letter? Oh, right! I remember now. The letter fell through the crack in my... But Sidine told me it was a threatening letter, and that I could be in danger. But that's not gonna happen with everyone looking after me, right?
Have you run into any suspicious-looking people recently?
Suspicious-looking people? Ah!
Did you think of something?
Nope. I don't remember meeting anyone like that.
Do you still have the letter with you? I want you to show me what it says.
Oh, let's see. Found it.
Now then. A simple threat. Neither the handwriting... We can't rule out that... Since you can't think of anyone suspicious, Kiara, you should come with us.
Sure! Wait, no.
But you are being watched right now.
And that's where we come in to help. We'll stay with Kiara and make sure she's safe. With us around, anyone's...
Thank you, Traveler. Big Sis Paimon.
All right. Let us go our separate ways for now.
We'll take her to a lost place right away.